Hello guys, Merry Christmas to you all. So I'm making this video based on a few requests I received as regard my last post on Instagram on step index. Basically, I'm going to be giving my thought process on step index, what I'm looking to play out in the next couple of weeks, and as such, you can make use of this analysis in addition with your own analysis, and see how you can make some bucks off this pair. Yes, so we can clearly see from the weekly time frame, the step index pair, the structure of the market is bearish. You can see the structure of the market is bearish, with the market making series of lower highs and lower lows from way back September 2019. The structure of the market is clearly bearish. So come with me guys, let's see what's playing out here. So here we say one of the ways to identify a downtrend is obviously the markets keep making series of higher highs and higher lows, series of lower highs and lower lows. I'm sorry about that guys. That's one of the ways to identify a downtrend. The markets keep making series of lower highs and lower lows, more like saying swing highs and swing lows. So here you can see there's a swing high about this point, and then we have the swing low. Sorry about that guys. We have the swing low here, and then price made a new swing high, which is a lower high. Price made a new swing low, which is a lower low, and then a lower high, and then a lower low, and then we're currently seeing price making a new lower high. Yes, so it's very obvious from our weekly time frame. We can see that the structure of the market is bearish, with price in a downtrend, with the market structure in a downtrend, series of lower highs and lower lows, and lower highs and lower lows. And then if we take our Fibonacci guys, because like I said initially, our Fibonacci gives us clues on where and when the pullback is most likely going to end, because we expect that after every impulsive move, price will undergo a corrective movement, a pullback, and then the Fibonacci gives us ideas on where and when the pullback is most likely going to end. And if we clearly, from the market, we saw price rallied all the way to this point, and then we can now see price moving all the way back to the upside. So you can see this is our most recent swing high and the most recent swing low. So when once we want to get information on where the pullback is most likely going to end, we take our Fibonacci from swing high to swing low, from swing high to swing low here, guys, and we can now see that indeed price has pulled back into our 61.8 region, and then we can now see some exhaustion, rejection candlestick back to the downside, confirming that what the pullback has most likely ended, and then we might now start experiencing an impulsive movement of price back to the downside. So this is the weekly time frame. So guys, take note, aside the fact I make use of Fibonacci tool to give me information on where the pullback is most likely going to end, I also make use of the Fibonacci tool for possible take profit areas. Yeah, possible take profit areas, because I understand that price is now undergoing a pullback, and after the pullback, yes, indeed, I expect price to find its way all the way back to the downside, much further. Let me take the Fibonacci out now. Okay, so after the pullback, which has entered into the 61.8 region, I'm now expecting price to find its way back to the downside, now much further than the previous swing low, because that is the characteristic of a downtrend. Price will keep making series of swing highs and swing lows, lower highs and lower lows. Yeah, so after the pullback, we're expecting price to now come and make a new low that's lower than what? The most recent low. So yes, I also make use of Fibonacci to tell me, yeah, give me clues also on my take profit areas. How do I do that? So what I do is swing high to swing low, and then you can see right here I have the 0.275, and also I have the 0.619. So yes, indeed, once I want to now figure out my take profit areas, I'll consider first and foremost this area. I'll consider first and foremost the 0.275 area as my first take profit, and if price breaks, and then I know for sure price will head next for the 0.618 area. So what am I saying? I'm saying now in essence that in the next couple of weeks, price will be finding an impulsive movement down to this zone, down to this area as my first take profit. So every sell opportunities, I'm looking to ride every sell opportunities in the next couple of weeks down to this area as my first take profits. And once price takes out this point, yes, indeed, price will get down all the way to the second box here. These are the clues I get from my Fibonacci. Yeah, I think I had some persons asking me on my settings for Fibonacci. Let me show you guys the settings I use for my Fibonacci, and you can copy that and change yours to this. So this is my setting for Fibonacci. So you can simply copy this and change your settings to what you can see here. All you need to do is to just change the levels. And these are levels I make use of: the 0.618, 0.275, 0.0, 38.2, 50, 61.8, 78.6, and lastly the 100. So you can copy out these settings and take a screenshot of it, then you change yours to this. So here, let's get back to our analysis and basically our thought process. Basically my thought process on step index pair. So I'm anticipating price to find a more impulsive movement down to this point as my first take profit point. So we can see clearly from the weekly time frame, price makes series of higher highs this is a high, this is a low, there's a new high that is lower than the previous high. So this is a lower high, this is a lower low, it's lower than the previous low. Price makes a new low that's lower than the previous. Price makes a new high that is lower than the previous high. So price has been making series of lower highs and lower lows, and we can now see price pulled back into the 61.8 area currently, with the candlestick giving us exhaustion, rejection. Most likely we will now expect price to find another impulsive movement back to the downside, much further than the previous than the most recent lower low. And this is where our Fibonacci gave us clue on where price might most likely be headed next for the next impulsive movement. So this is that for our weekly time frame. So let's get down now to the daily time frame and see what's happening there. So yes, indeed, our weekly market structure is bearish, and we are clearly and obviously in a downtrend, and we can see that the pullback has most likely now ended. We should be looking now for selling opportunities back of this pair in the next couple of weeks to the downside. So from our daily time frame, guys, what we can clearly see, we can see price made a double bottom somewhere around here, and we can see a W, right guys? And then we can see this is the neckline of the W. This is the neckline of the W, and once price breaks the neckline of the W, we would have expected that price will come down and retest the neckline. We would have expected price to come down and retest the neckline of the W for a more massive buying pressure all the way to the upside. This is what we would have expected, but we can now see that price took out the neckline of the W, closed above this with a significant candlestick close above the W, and then back to the downside again, and then broke out this same point. So this was more like a fake out, and then we can see price heading back for the downside. So yeah, what are my thought process on this? From the daily time frame, what I will be expecting to see is, because right from the weekly time frame, I'm considering selling opportunities down to this zone as my first take profit area. Yeah, so this is my first take profit area. Let me change that to something. So hold on. Let me fill that. So yeah, I'm expecting price to come down to these areas as my take profits. So from my weekly time frame, I'm considering to take every and any sell opportunity I get all the way to this point as my first take profit areas. But then what we can clearly see happening in the daily time frame, and my thought process from this is, I would now expect price, because price came at this point, which was the neckline of our W, and now price took out the neckline of the W and made a new high, and then we can see price now came back again to the downside, more like giving us a fake out. This is me saying we're having a kind of head and shoulder pattern here. We can see price most likely trying to form a head and shoulder pattern here. And this is the head. This is the head. We've got the left shoulder already. We've got the left shoulder. I'll use LH for that. Left shoulder. So yeah, this is our left shoulder. So what I would expect price to do is price come down again to this point, and then you make a triple bottom for for another movement to the upside to now form the right shoulder. So now form the right shoulder. For a more massive movement in confluence with the weekly market structure all the way to the downside. So this is basically what I would be expecting to see in the next couple of days, and then to ride the sell structure from the weekly time frame all the way to this point as my first take profit area. So I would now expect price to come back and make a pullback into this previous resistance to now come and find the left shoulder, and then all the way back to the downside. Because guys, what we do is we we consider the weekly and the daily time frames for the direction of the market. That's what I do. I consider the weekly and the daily time frame for the direction of the market, and then the 4 hours time frame I most likely consider that for entries. Yeah. So this is my thought process on step index. So I'm calling step index on a sell trend, on a downtrend rather, with the structure of the market right from the weekly time frame completely bearish. So we would be looking out for more potential sell opportunities in the next couple of weeks, as the case may be. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, so guys, you can add this up with auto your analysis and then use this in complex with whatever you must have figured out on the step index pair. Thanks. I hope I was able to point out and address some of the questions I had come up on Instagram. Thank you. Do have a nice day, guys.